You are now tuned in to For Trade Podcast with your host, Akila. And I have a special somebody that's going to join us this episode. And this episode will basically be the origin of how me and my partner met and where we are now. So I will introduce my boyfriend, Edwin. Nickname is Eddie. He don't like going by his first name. I don't know why. But this is my partner, Eddie.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Edwin, aka Eddie, aka Miss Bay here's man, aka boyfriend. All of the above.
Trey's father.
Yes.
This is the specimen creator. In this episode, I wanted to highlight the origin of our story and how we got here and where we are now. So, my first thought of this individual, I started off as online dating and met this person. Facebook dating, to be exact. Facebook dating. I don't know if you guys know, but it's like a left-right community.
Yeah.
And then
it is basically designed similar to what you all may have been familiar with, whether it's Tinder and Bumble.
I don't know none of that. I only know Facebook dating and Instagram when people slide in your DMs. But other than that,
I never did IG because you can never tell. That's where the catfishes are stronger. Was on IG.
Gosh.
But not to get off. That's how I met her as well.
And he hit me up first. Just want to set the record straight. He liked what he saw, and he was in.
Yes. I'm just going to be honest on this episode with you all. And her, I told her, viewer discretion is advised as far as, like, you know, how we both met was within the same community. The swipe left and right, Bumble, Tinder, Facebook dating. But
well, first off, how did we get to that point? Because when we first started dating, like when we first started online dating was in 2021 when I first moved to Tallahassee.
Yes, we did match. We did match. Now, honesty right here.
We were hoes. Both of us was hoes,
yes.
But he was the bigger hoe. He was, for the record.
I was on it all. I was on Tinder. I was on Bumble. And I was on Facebook dating. And, you know, basically, if any of you live in a college town like we do, you'll already understand the mindset of what it is for most people that are on those dating sites. And everyone is on there for different reasons. My experience, long story short, was a mixture of I was either talking to people that were for real or talking to people that were just quick hustlers, scam artists, trying to get you to their OnlyFans, their webcam shows and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's how the hustle game has been on there for the longest, even through Snapchat and stuff like that. But yeah, I was on there. And eventually, when it became the same thing over and over again on both Tinder and Bumble, I said to myself, you know what, why not? I said for the heck of it, and I was like, you know, screw it, I'm going to try Facebook dating. And there was, you know,
yeah, history.
Left, right.
He came across a real one.
Yes. We matched, and how does the story go again? Who said
You texted me and said day or night.
Now, it wasn't text because, you know, this is all online, but everybody's on the phone.
You chatted it, but
I
you
did,
texted
yes.
it. Yeah.
I made the first move, yes.
You made the first move in general.
However, it was how I made the first move that caught her by surprise.
Because most people just always be like, hey, what's up? Where do you live? Yeah. Are you single? Like, obviously I'm single if I'm on here, but, you know, some people just be out there on the left and right community and whole relationships, marriage and all, but baby, I was single as a Pringle.
My mindset was different. I was out here like, what? Yeah, I was either out here looking for something genuine, and most of the time it was just something casual. One and done, nothing more. Some were attempts, and some just didn't work and didn't last, obviously. And I was the victim of being ghost.
Not I once, think we all were at some point, but I was the ghosty, you know. I was ghosting people left and right. Yeah. And especially if they was getting too frisky early. You got to go. And at this point, I had my own place. So yeah. And a lot of people were trying to stop by. No. And at that time, Tallahassee was crazy too, because there was a lot of shooting in the community that I was staying at across the street. Had shootings. People was getting killed over there in Seminole Grand. If you live in Tallahassee, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Tallahassee has a way of being a mirage in certain
a fake Broward. That's what they were trying. A fake Broward.
Or maybe the influence by those from South Florida and South Central Florida.
That's a lie.
But we're not gonna get into that. But I at the time was in the process of having my own place, and that's where I did come across her. Swipe left or right. So
it was God sent, because I was just in a point around. This is the time that of removing my life or removing access from my ex and everything. And those that know my story know that I had an ex that I was with for some time and destroyed my life. And after that, I was just free-willed and willy-nilly and didn't really have any... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have no words. I know he was sniffing, but...
He wanted to speak into the microphone.
Yeah.
He was trying to.
But, let's just say, I'm glad I got over that phase in my life, and I met him, of course. And fortunately, because thank God he's out of my life for good, I put the boundaries between that. But yeah, so came across and was like day or night, and I said, what did I say? I think I said day.
Oh yes.
No, I might have. I thought I said night.
So.
Because I like the stars and stuff at nighttime.
So what I did was, when I made the first move, like she said, in the world of swipe left and right, when you get that match, I guess ideally it is up to the male, us guys, to make the first move. So I already knew going in that the basic hi or hey or what's up is already like that. The conversation just ends immediately. And I thought to myself, well, how am I supposed to make a good impression when I can't even have a chance to start the conversation if the simple hi or hey ends it just like that? Because speaking on experience, I would say that in the past, in the beginning, when I was on Tinder, Bumble, and you name it, nothing ever happened with the matches and stuff. So the creativity got in by asking a question: day or night, pizza or tacos.
And it was very cute and unique. Yeah. That's what intrigued me to him, because I just more so was just like, okay, all these people keep saying, hey, what's up? What's your name? Where you from? Like, and I obviously have a South Floridian accent. Like, most people can quickly distinguish where my accent comes from. And this one, I, decided to give him a chance. He wanted to climb this tree. And I wanted to climb his tree.
I asked the question, day or night. Are you a nighttime person or a daytime person? And she said night. I said night too, because I tend to do more things at night. And that's where the conversation led on. And
one thing led to another.
Yeah, one thing led to another. Now keep this in mind though. I don't know if you've mentioned it in your episodes or not, but if not, we matched, but we were on and off talking for an entire year.
Like, it was 2 years, technically speaking.
On paper.
On paper, it was 2 years. We weren't linking up. Well, he kept making plans, and then last minute. No, actually, it wasn't last minute. It was with proper timing.
Proper timing. Say, yeah. What it was, we were talking, but at the same time,
cancel.
Getting to that, at the same time, we each had stuff going on. She was a student. Of course, I cut hair. I'm a barber, and I'm also a local sports reporter here in Tallahassee. But there was some complications that came up, and we were close to meeting one point towards the end of that year of talking. I had an unfortunate passing in my family, and that, extended it further. Until last year, actually coming around this same time last year, because we were talking leading up to this, and
yeah, because August and then
September. Yeah. Um, One day I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can finally just, meet this amazing, loving woman that I have yet to meet in person and know. And I had an extra ticket to a Rattlers game here in Tallahassee, and I asked if she wanted to go, and she said yes, but she already got in.
I got free access because I was a student of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, so it was already planned that I was going. I was going with my cousins and everything because one of them actually was enrolled in the school too, and the other one, was just tagging along, just wanted to be there for support. And that's when he messaged me on Snapchat and was like, "Hey, I got some tickets for the game. Wanted to know if you want to go." And I was like, "I'll go, but I have my own tickets. Like, I got it for free. My tuition's covered for it." So now this is September 10th, the first game that we actually met, and
after that was a rough weekend too. Fam had gotten their ass whooped bad by Jackson State, so the whole university, and it was cloudy that day too, rainy.
Yeah, it was rainy.
It was, so there was a depressed feeling.
And I lost my umbrella that day. I was so mad.
Yeah,
I was so mad. They had us leave our umbrellas at the front, and I completely forgot about it to pick it up. I was so
mad.
Look,
wherever you are, when it rains in your hometown or city and stuff, it has a different feel to it. Makes you do and even forget things. And that's kind of like what it was that day. I came in with a bright yellow poncho because I had forgotten my other one and whatnot. So it's like, I feel discombobulated at all. But I was nervous.
What was your apparel?
Yes, I was nervous too because I was like trying to make a good impression. I didn't want to be too stylish at the same time and then too decked out with, my fan gear, because I go all out for my two schools here in Tallahassee. Obviously, you can tell. So I just showed up with my jersey, my hat, and long curly hair at the time. And I was looking for her, and I was like trying to figure out, so are you going to be on the press box side or the opposite side? She was on the opposite side. She already was inside the stadium, and I was like wandering, looking like.
But I was still at the game. I was waiting for you because we were texting. I didn't have your phone number then. This is him too. He didn't want to give his phone number out. He wanted to text you Snapchat.
Yeah. So at that time, that was also part of my whole strategy. Long story short, you can give someone your phone number, and then you text them, they never text you back or whatever, or so on. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So I was different, and I said, yeah, Snapchat, and
But y'all know the whole thing with Snapchat, where the messages delete and everything.
She thinks that's what my, I guess, intentions were at that time. No, honestly, no. But
the people that know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about as well. That was not me though. That was not me. I refuse to be affiliated with them hustlers that do that. Anyways. I messaged her, I'm here, and she says, I'm here too, I'm inside already. And I had scanned my ticket, and I saw her, and I was like...
What did I look like when you seen me?
Well, I don't remember...
Not the appearance, but what was your first impression of me?
I'm like, oh wow, she's cute. She's cute.
Cute! Puppies is cute! I was fine. I was fine. Someone's so cute. Neji's cute.
Yes, the standard South Florida wearing some type of hoodie or zip-up jacket in the late summer going into the fall.
But that's a Broward thing. We always wear hoodies in heat.
And what's interesting, nobody from South Florida, from Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, the list goes on, can never give me a straight-up answer as to why.
It's just comfortable.
Comfortable beyond measure.
I mean, it's hot, but you have that comfort.
Anyways, but yes. But yes.
The ones that know from Broward.
But
Real South Floridians.
She was cute, but shy. I got the impression of her being shy a bit, so I was like...
I was shy, because you was fine.
Yeah. I was like, can I get a hug, and she gave me a hug. And I was like, where would you like to sit? So we found seats, started talking. Well, we had to get a feel first. We sat down, took a minute. It took a minute for me to actually like strike up some good words to start conversation and talk about. Mm-hmm. She also had mentioned her family and stuff, which I met at the time.
You met them. You met my cousins.
I don't know if they gave me the intimidation look like, who's this guy?
Because the thing was, okay. I told them that I was kind of meeting somebody here, and at the same time, I kind of didn't because I was like, okay, I don't know how to go about telling them that I'm really here to go on a date, kind of, sort of, and then, but yeah, it was weird at first because I'm like, should I tell them? But eventually they grew to love you.
Yeah,
they did. So they have is he humping you? He sure is. Anyways, but yeah, that was a game. We was catching up with each other and just overall, literally just catching up, talking up or whatever. And this one, after the game ended, was like, I don't want the night to end. Where could we go, or whatever. And he took me to Denny's.
Yes, Denny's was quite the experience. That gave us a chance to talk more and get to know each other, including the little spill.
I was so nervous.
She spilled a drink.
I spilled a drink.
Yeah.
And it was water, to be exact, because I was nervous to drink anything else. And he was like, "Oh, do I make you nervous?" Apparently so, if I'm spilling some damn water on the dang table, all over the floor too, y'all. The people that was working there looked at me like, this girl is tripping. Like, yeah, if anybody knows me, knows that I have anxiety issues really bad. And when I really like someone, I get really anxious.
And for you all that are getting to know me, I just go with the flow of whatever the setting may be in public, of where we're going or I'm going and whatnot. I just try to be myself the best way possible. And the night keeps going, and it's going good for most parts. I'm discovering a lot about her and learning. I had a nice omelet. She don't like no eggs.
I don't. Eggs are disgusting.
She don't like no eggs and stuff.
I think that's the worst thing anybody created is eggs.
That was a good omelet though. That I had.
And I had chicken tenders because I didn't eat any of the other stuff. I had chicken tenders.
The safe bet right there, ladies and gentlemen. The safe bet. Don't know what you want at a certain restaurant.
Always go chicken tenders.
Always with the chicken tenders.
You can never go wrong with chicken tenders.
No, you cannot. But there's always something else on the menu.
No.
She's inspired me to try different things, which I have, and it's been good and whatnot. And so have I. I've inspired her to try different things as well.
Like, he just wants to be so bad.
Yes, he does. Yes. But I remember the night comes to an end.
Nice.
And I asked her the question.
Nice.
Am I someone you would like to see again? Mm-hmm. And she said yes.
And from that moment, we've been inseparable. Well, he can't get enough of me.
Well, let's go a little bit more into that. So at that time it was still kind of slow and up and coming, and we were hanging out here and there, and everything seemed well. We even went out to another event one time, and she got to meet my little sister. And
what happened at the game?
Well,
it was our first kiss, and he kissed me, and
yes.
out of nowhere, no warning, just
So it was at the time after hanging out a bit. I honestly thought we were feeling each other a bit. I know I was, but
it caught me off guard because most people don't be that bold. And you was bold.
When she helped out my sister with something, I just was like looking at my phone quickly. I went in and went like
on my lips, not my cheek.
I did kiss the cheek.
It was my lips.
Perhaps like close to this.
It was my lips.
It was close to that area. I went like, and she went. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taller than me, so I'm looking up to him.
Yeah, caught her off by guard and whatnot, and seemed to. I think I'm.
He's still humping you.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I caught that on camera. Oh, that was funny. That is funny. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me fix the camera.
Not. And if y'all saw that, that's gonna be one for the blooper
that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. He normally don't do that to me, just to her.
Yeah, this time he's showing out.
But then Then there was that one time where it seemed a bit much.
It did. I think this is the point
much.
where,
Yeah.
okay, this is where, I grew up a lot as far as relationship was concerned because I always self-sabotage myself. Like, when there's good things that come into my life, I tend to push them away because I've been raised in, like, just this toxic, chaotic lifestyle. Like, I always thought, what is my hair? I always thought, like, good things mean, like, oh, there's always going to come to an end and stuff like that. And so we met up at a park. I'm like, okay, maybe the park would be a nice way to let him down and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
We had a talk and I was just like, I think this has gotten too fast. I think this situation has gone too fast and like,
and I was,
and at this point I was thinking that he was like extremely clingy because I'm like, he's doing too much sometimes. Like the kiss caught me off by surprise, and then just he was so good to me, and I'm just like, when a man is too good to you, he's too good to be true. That's what I thought in my head. But I just, I was just like, nah, this, and I kid you guys not, maybe 24 hours later, I was on his front porch, coming back to see him.
Yeah.
And his dog.
Yeah, at the time, I was humbled when I went to, like, on my side of the story. I'm like, okay, so she...
I was crying, y'all. I was crying in myself to sleep that night because I was like, "This is a good man. He's a good man, Savannah."
I get it. It was something that she wasn't probably used to, and it was scary and whatnot. And even though I was humble about it and I was okay while we were walking and talking about it and stuff, I told her, I was asking, like, as a last chance, like, is there ways we can work together on certain things, like, help me understand and whatnot. And she brushed it off like, nah. Like, at that time, at that particular moment. And
I was trying to run away from him.
I remember the final words I said to her, which were probably going to be my last, for so I thought. I was like, I asked her, you gonna be okay?
And I bust out crying again. I said, this man really asked me if I'm okay. Nobody asks me if I'm okay. Like, not even the person I was with.
Okay? I said, I'm going to be okay.
Not even the person I was with for, like, majority of my 19 to 22. Like, not once has he sat down and said, are you okay? But the way he asked me was very compassionate. It was very caring.
And my dog at the time, rest in peace, Bailey, had grown really attached to Bay right here. And
I could have sworn that was my dog. Bailey was my dog. Every day, every time I would come and stay over, spend the night, she was right up underneath me. Even when we got into arguments, guess where she was? With me. With Moa, she was on my side. That was my dog.
Yeah.
That was my dog. Even though it was his older sister's dog, Jazz's dog, but that was my baby. She holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yep, and then ever since I came back on the porch,
she messaged me like she said 24 hours. I got the message if
I didn't know. I didn't message you. I showed up. I popped up.
You didn't?
Well, no.
You did ask me, am I gonna be home? And
I
I
did.
Yeah, and then I was
said,
like,
yeah. And then that's when I
she
popped
showed up, and I'm like,
I said, I'm about to pop up on them. And I think that night we watched Harry Potter, didn't we? I think it was the start of when we watched Harry Potter. Because I never watched Harry Potter before.
Which, by the way, she finished all 7 today.
I sure did.
And then she was like, I just want to say that I fucked up.
I did. I admitted it. You know a player for real when she admits when she fucked up. And I fucked up. That was the first time. But hey, go in your house. In your house. Because now you're doing too much. And so, fast forward, going on dates, going out, hanging out, sporting events, because he's a local sports reporter. Fast forward, going to games, listening to him on his broadcasting and everything.
And then eventually going on trips together, like my birthday weekend in St. Pete.
You fast forwarding too fast. We didn't even talk about when you made it official.
Oh, we'll get to that. My fault, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we made it official December 13th of 2022.
Yes, it was a nice, fancy outing that we had. in the beginning of winter too.
It
This
was
is
cold
where
as shit.
it was. This is now. I tell people this, like especially customers behind the chair when they get used to like the Tallahassee area. Tallahassee is also North Florida, and people get the biggest misconception that it doesn't get cold in Florida when in reality it does.
It does.
Especially in North Florida, since we're the first region of Florida to get those cold fronts that work their way down from up north in the Midwest and so on. So it gets cold, believe it or not. Yes, we get freezing down here in Florida.
And it was cold as shit that time.
It was, but she looked so beautiful that night. Had her hair done and everything. Had the heels and stuff like.
Oh my gosh.
And there's more I want to say as well, like the undefeated color.
Oh my gosh. We're not mentioning that. Leave that alone. And ever since then, you know, around that time is when I had gotten pregnant with Trey too. Yeah, he was our Christmas gift, and you know, he sunset of May 15th. But this is where we are now, and as you guys know, we've been going through grieving and everything, following his sunset, and just now we're just getting back to what we started with, and just talking about that kind of helps us a lot too, doesn't it?
It does. For some parts, you know, and for me mostly, I'm still having it rough at times, and it's hard. It's hard. I really have no words to truly describe how hard it is because it's more action that is showed, but in the wrong way. And I dare not wish this upon any young man around my age to go through because it will change you, and it has for me. Everything that she has told you of what it was, of who I am as a person that led up to us meeting and everything. That version of me now, I've been trying to find a way to get back, and it's been hard. And
grief is a bitch.
It is.
It sure is.
It is.
Like, you have your days, but I feel like within this relationship, I think it has changed a lot from our beginning. Like, we never experienced any personal loss like that, other than me losing my cousins and
me losing
aunts and uncles. But like
aunt.
this one hit home. Like, it was just woo.
Yeah.
Changed everything.
Yeah, it's
like we're two new people now. Even as we speak right now, I just feel like we're just we're two new people still in the same body. That makes sense. But we just been literally trying to hold on strong and just be an advocate for our friends and be strong as best as we can to show people that you can get through this and you can inspire other couples to kind of get through as best as they can. Like, it's hard, you know, especially hard for me because I was the one that physically carried our child. But you know, there's strength in knowing that my son's in a better place, our son's in a better place, and just understanding like we didn't lose him. You know, losing a child or that word loss is very final, and that's not final. Like, our son transitioning was not final. I think he did transition into an angel, and I do believe that he's with his creator that he blessed us with, and you know.
And he is surrounded by an enormous amount of family, you know, with our great-grandparents, our aunts and uncles, my godmother that recently went to be with the Lord as well, and my dog. They're probably running around as we speak.
Yep.
So, but yes, it is quite the journey, and I never expected to have something like this. I mean, I was always prepared in case, you know, the day is to come with perhaps my grandmother and so on, but a personal loss.
I wasn't prepared at all.
Yeah,
like,
a personal loss like this was. Yeah, like she said, I wasn't prepared for it either.
And I don't do death well at all. Like, I just think you know, at that point I was scared to die. And I always believe that, you know, such things that, you know, it's scary to die and everything. And just going through that is like a whole nother life that you come out after. Like, when we went into the hospital, we came out two completely different people. When we came out the hospital, and just overall,
I remember hesitating on leaving the hospital too. There was a moment that I had that I did not want to start this car and go home. Because, he's still here.
Sure is. He lives through us.
Yeah, and that experience alone just was hard, and it still is every day, especially in certain places in this city that we live in, which contribute as a core memory. My shop was the place where we had his gender reveal. Every day I step into that place and I'm reminded of it. I mean, what even hits hard and what's a trigger is sweeping up a piece of blue confetti once in a while. Even my coworkers have told me on the low, but they keep it to themselves sometimes, and that itself is hard. But it's finding ways to, like, the words I like to use called channel focus, to channel focus on the rest of the day moving forward. And I have a motto that no matter how rough or bad a day may be, you look for the good
in everything.
In everything, no matter how big or small. Thank you, baby. No matter how big or small, you look for the good that you can find every day. And that's been something that I have done from middle school all the way up through high school and so on. Okay, let me see what was good about this, if there was one thing good about this day. Even if it was me going to get, like, soda at the gas station and having the money for it. Because, back in where I'm from, in South Central Florida, we hustle a lot just to make up the change to get a soda half of the time or so. Or even candy and whatnot. I mean, you understand where I'm coming from.
We ain't had those issues in South Florida, I'm sorry.
She's a true South Floridian.
We had a candy lady. And around every corner there was one. But there's always that one special candy lady that you can get snacks and soda pops and...
We had the ice cream truck too.
We had ice cream truck too. You ain't that old, honey. You ain't that old. We had everything. We shared majority of the things that we had back then as a child. We shared.
Most
Nintendos,
things,
Game Boys, PSPs. What was the other? Wii's. But Wii's came later. We had GameCubes.
You didn't have the Walkman.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, you on your own on that one.
I had the tail end of the transition.
We had Blockbusters.
Of the Walkman going into the CD players. Yes.
We had Blockbusters.
I been had Blockbuster and Movie Gallery. I had the Blockbuster card and everything. Oh yeah, man. And that's another thing when I look back at stuff like that and compare it to our situation. It's like, it seemed like back then times it just looks so simple.
I wish I could go back to being a kid. Oh my gosh, life was so simple.
That and
I hated my childhood because of my parents' like separation and the shit that came with it. But baby, I wish I could go back to being a child, because every time you're an adult, every day you paying bills. Bills. I wish I could go back to 10 and slap myself in the face and say, shut the hell up.
And learn something.
I wish, but at 10 years old, I said, I wish I was an adult. At 10, what do I know about being an adult at 10?
What do we all
I wish I could go back and slap myself.
You're just trying to have fun and everything and stuff. And
I was trying to rush being an adult, and look, I'm stressed.
And one thing about during our grieving, when we went back home to our hometowns, we actually got even a more understanding of like how we grew up. I went to her hometown of Coral Springs, and I'm in true South Florida, okay, near the Fort Lauderdale area, and I'm seeing where she grew up most of the time. I'm like, wow, it's nice down here, but at the same time, it's not all what it's cooked up to be. And she just gave me the rundown of what she did on a regular and what she couldn't do on a regular.
Yeah, I know, my mom wasn't playing that shit. I couldn't stay at nobody's house.
They had a nice
and the one person that I stayed at, that whole.
Okay.
But yeah, the one person that I did stay at, my mom had to do like a.
And then came, where one of her like places of peace where she likes to visit is her grandparents in South Bay. I was like, wow, this makes me. Well, the place itself where they live is a nice setting. It's quiet. It's peaceful.
My grandma loves him.
It's quiet. It's peaceful, and it's just calm. Nothing to do, but for them, it's perfect. And, the relationship she has with their grandparents is wonderful. They will feed you. Whew, they will feed
They
you.
was trying to feed you, boy. They was not playing. They say you too skinny. Y'all know Jamaican parents or Jamaican grandparents. They be trying to feed the
Puerto
hell out you.
Ricans too, and people from the VI, which is my background.
Nah, your mom didn't force feed me. She tried to make sure that I was.
Not my mom, but
Grandma Pepsi. She's the one.
Grandma
You
Maria.
need to eat. You so skinny.
Grandma Maria.
You're so skinny.
And just certain aunts and uncles, even my godmother, rest in peace. But and then she got to see my hometown of Avon Park down in Highlands County, and
which is like a Port St. Lucie, but just in the middle.
South Central Florida.
It literally reminds me so much of Port St.
Central.
Lucie.
It's South Central, and yeah, so like. I told her, now you see what you had to work with and what I had to work with and stuff. She got to see where I grew up, places that were considered the hood, and
it was not. That's their hood. It was nothing compared to the hood that I've seen, and they have the best ice cream. Oh my gosh, the ice cream place was so good. It was so delicious.
Yeah, there was in my hometown on Main Street. There was an ice cream spot that I knew of for the longest that was there. I never went there, not once while I was living in Avon Park, but we went there and we had some, and it was good. And I took her to our one signature park in Avon Park that just so happens to be named Donaldson Park.
My last name.
Yeah, and I was also just showing this is where, I kind of spent the summer as a kid in this, and I showed her the old recreation center that my mom used to run. I showed her my old middle school, my old high school, my elementary school, everything. And, back home too, just like, and with the loss of my son, it's just like I'm going through emotions at the same time.
Sunset.
He sunset, I'm sorry. With my son sunsetting, just being back home just brought back a lot of memories of myself. But at the same time, it's like, look how far I've come. Look how far we've come from where we started originally. And, just learning to keep on going, and that's what my dad was talking about as well. And, that was the one good thing I will say while we were in our hometowns was the amount of love and support our families were giving us, most parts, and making the journey back up. That was the tough part too, because now we're getting ready to begin something where we're going to be two totally different people. And she said that too while we were down there. We're never going to be what we were
before. It changes you.
Yeah, and not in a good way, but man, look where we are now. Yeah.
Oh, baby. He gets under my skin.
Yeah.
But I love him to bits and pieces.
Yes, and she's helped me on that too. I think that's another thing is like certain areas of maturity that I was mature in and wasn't mature in. She's helped me with that and opened my eyes to a better understanding.
Oh my gosh.
What? You like how I was animated?
Yes. He's animated. You put the E in extra.
I guess I can tend to be a bit extra for her, but I mean, like, that's the thing with her. She was so serious at times and stuff. So I'm like, where's your sense of humor? I'm Roger Rabbit, and you're the Detective Eddie Valiant.
Anybody that knows me and my family know I'm the clown in the family. Everybody knows I'm the clown.
But not with me in the beginning. Not as much.
Because we were just getting to know each other. Why would I be clowny with you?
I mean, after like.
But then have you take me as a joke? Nope.
After like the second or third month, I thought we would be like, come on now.
No.
But I think it was a good build up too, and especially how she's like, gotten so close with my family now. My little sister loves her, truly. Like she sees her as a big sister figure. She's even called you her sister at times.
Yeah, she says I'm part of the family now. I got the approval.
Yeah, and then there's my grandma Pepsi, who
Grandma Pepsi loves me.
Yeah,
and I love Grandma Pepsi. People call her crazy,
and she is.
People call her crazy,
And
but
she is.
Grandma's not crazy. She's misunderstood. But yeah, we are about to wrap up the episode. This is basically just the episode of our origin and how we started and just where we are now. I hope this inspire a lot of couples to kind of just do the work. It's hard. Trust me, this relationship it's not always perfect, but we always make it work. Not just for the sake of our son, but just for us in general. Because before he got into this world, it was just us and Bailey. Rest in peace to Bales. But on that note, we will check in with you guys next Saturday.
Yes, I will be a part of another episode, maybe two. Not necessarily, I guess, giving advice. I'm in no position to give advice right now, but I'll just have a say on what could happen to other young couples out there. So, thank you, baby, for having me.
No problem, baby. I love you. And we will check in again next Saturday.